maybe a blip on the line. Yeah, there is a little bit of that darker green that you see there. It's kind of a pinwheel, so it's very small. But we may have very well a little tight-knit area of rotation right there, just south of I-64 and west of Corydon. So let's time this out. This is a dangerous storm. Certainly has strong winds associated with it. You can see that squall line in nature, how that kind of bows out right there. Ramsey, you're north of where the tornado would be, but Georgetown, this would likely arrive in about 5:10 p.m. local time, so within, let's see, Eastern time, so 10-15 minutes from now, and then moving over towards the west side of Louisville within the next 15 to 25 minutes. Downtown Louisville, this storm is likely in a trajectory that could bring it close to the city limits or maybe just a little bit north into the suburbs there in southern Indiana on the north side of the city. This entire squall line only about 25 miles away and moving to the east and slightly north of east at about 60 miles per hour. So do the math, you're looking at 20 to 30 minutes there from the city of Louisville. A lot of lightning with these storms, and again, they're heading into a pretty favorable environment as it pushes east. So these storms could intensify, they could spin up more rapidly and produce more tornadoes. Now, nothing's been confirmed just yet, but that is something that we're going to be watching for. Now, let's jump to the tornado warnings north of there. Still in Indiana, here's I-65, and this storm has a notch with it. So this is south of Seymour, and it definitely has some rotation there near Jennings, and there's some notable rotation right about there. It does appear to be a little bit broad, but still a concerning sight to see on a day like today. So this is a storm that you want to take very seriously. There's the possibility of a tornado. It's radar indicated at the moment, and you certainly see that velocity. Reds are winds moving away from the radar, and greens are winds moving towards the radar. So we certainly see that. This is going to cross right over I-65, south of Seymour, and just north of Austin. So that brings it near Austin right about now in the next couple of minutes, and then moving up towards Paris Crossing by 5:12, 5:15 p.m., and then getting up towards Lovett and Bigger in about 20 minutes or so. So that's a dangerous storm, and again, moving off towards the east-northeast at about 60 miles per hour. Those storms are headed towards the Cincinnati metro area within an hour to 2 hours. So we'll be tracking that, and we'll also get some more live coverage here from the Ohio River Valley. Notice the flooding that's ongoing there in eastern Ohio. Those storms aren't severe, but the atmosphere behind is going to kind of reload, and this will carry us through this evening. So we have a long 4, 5, 6 hours here, at least for the Ohio River Valley, and then we're going to start to see new watches likely posted for Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee. Now, Nashville, you're under a tornado watch here for Middle Tennessee, and we've got to watch these storms. There are no current warnings yet, but that could very well change. And we've had some reports of flooding here around Middle Tennessee, including the Nashville area. The most dangerous storms are starting to approach the Louisville metro area. This includes you in Harrison County. They have kept the tornado warning. It does include the city of Corydon right there along I-64. There's some almost a very isolated, tight-knit area of rotation right there. It's not super evident by the velocity, but still could be a very dangerous storm. We've had some concerns with even unwarned tornadoes today, so this is a situation where any of the severe thunderstorm warnings and certainly the tornado warnings, you want to take seriously, because these could spin up twisters that could be very brief, but they also could be long-lived. And with the torque-on of what we have today of a 7 here in parts of the Ohio River Valley, guys, these could also be strong tornadoes and long-tracked tornadoes. We haven't seen that just yet, but that could change.
It could, and we're going to see severe weather in the southern part of all this, and that's going to continue through the overnight hours. So, tornadoes overnight can be particularly dangerous because people are sleeping, so make sure you've got a way to be alerted after you go to bed tonight if you live in the southern zones of all of this. So as we take a look at the big picture, that cold front is on the move. Once the cold front passes you, you'll be in the clear zone, but we've got a very large warm sector. We've got this cluster of thunderstorms going this way. We've got this back line that we're watching. And this is going to be the next big area across the south for development, and that will be tracking eastward into parts of Alabama as well as into Georgia. So notice the darker red areas where it is likely still for severe weather to occur, and that includes places like Huntsville, into Birmingham, Atlanta, Macon, as well as into the western Carolinas. You've got a chance of seeing strong to severe thunderstorms. Torque-ons are as high as a 5 in this region, so it's right in the middle of that scale. still, if there is a number, there is a risk, and that's going to continue into tonight. Now, notice the amount of energy available is actually building right now. So we're working on not just destabilizing the atmosphere with some of the heating of the day, but it also has to do with the amount of moisture that's advecting into the area, and that will spread eastward here with time as the cold front gets a little bit closer and we get a stronger low-level jet beginning to kick on in. As we time this out then through the rest of this evening and into tonight, this is 8 o'clock, and look at that line depicted of potentially nasty, severe storms. Southern Mississippi on up through the Birmingham area. A few individual storms possible out ahead of that main line, but look at how this all kind of clusters together and forms a couple of different lines through midnight, working through the Atlanta metro area, Macon, maybe 2, 3, 4 in the morning, heading towards Columbia, South Carolina, and even over here towards Raleigh in the very early morning hours of tomorrow. So this is why we say you really need to get alerts while you're sleeping, preferably 2 forms if you can, and just have that plan in place, talk to the family, and make sure everybody knows, okay, if the sirens go off, if my alert and my alarm goes off, then I know we need to get up in the middle of the night and go. Heavy rainfall, of course, is going to be a big concern. We've got quite a few areas with some flooding into the Ohio Valley, but notice that that extends southward too. So we're talking the Tennessee River Valley and parts of the Deep South.